Alright, first off, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, Bashem Kodash, double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps, the hopeful elect. Shalom. This is Brother Aaron from the Jamaica camp, coming to another quick lesson. And recently, I was listening to a program, and the host, it was a program by the name of In the Meantime, by this Jamaican comedian that comments on social issues, and he identify a few things that are happening in life on a whole, and as well as with Jamaican people. Now, a thing that he said was he was describing how most people, he was speaking on the behalf, or from a standpoint of relationships, that most people go into a relationship with a lot of desires, but they're not willing to put in the work to achieve those desires. And it reminds me of that statement reminded me of this truth where we always say, we come out on the highways and byways, we say we desire the kingdom, we do these sit downs and these lessons, and we say we want the kingdom to come. But are our actions matching those words? Are our actions working towards those desires? Are we being slothful in spirit? Are we conducting ourselves in the spirit, even if it's a case that we're doing lessons? Are we praying? Are we fasting? Are we reading? Are we providing brotherly love? Are our deeds in line with our desires, to the point where we'll be able to to obtain them? So right here it says we also desire to be delivered. Now here it is Google, sorry, this is from Google. I just typed in desire and action, or it says, what is the really, no, Slakia. Right, there's a quote. It says, desire without action will collapse all hope built inside. So if it's a case that we're not putting in the work from now, when it's time, when the test actually comes up, those that aren't built up and rooted in the spirit are going to be cut off. So we need to pray to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, not only to give us the desire of the kingdom, but also to put the spirit in us to do what is required, so that we may obtain. Strengthen us in the spirit, so that we may work out our salvation with fear and trembling, and so that we can give all diligence to make our calling and election sure. All right, I'll read this again. It says, desire without action will collapse all hope built inside. And that's true. You have a lot of people that say, I want to do this, or I want to do this, or do that, or I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that. And then when the time comes, it's, what, I'll do it later, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week, or I'll do it the next time, or the next time the opportunity comes around, or I'm not in the mood, or, I have time. When those opportunities come up, when it's time to, get the job done, it's an issue. You have those athletes who, when it's time for training, they don't train, and they think that when they go in the game, they desire to win, but they don't train. They go ahead and they play the game, and they lose, and instead of acknowledging the fact that they didn't put in the work, didn't train and build themselves up, they'll prefer to say the ref was unfair, or some just wasn't their day, or some BS. But the days to come is going to really prove whether or not that's what we truly desire. So we have to be operating and working towards the kingdom. We have to labor to enter into that rest. Because if all we have is desires, we're not going to camp, we're not conducting ourselves certain, in our part in the manner of the spirit. If we're not walking in the spirit, we're not doing our lessons, we're not reading, we're not fasting, we're not conducting ourselves in that particular manner. Then when push comes to shove, not gonna make it. And that's just the truth. So we have to examine ourselves, and we have to, pray to Yahweh Hashem Yahushai so that we will be built up. All right, real quickly, I'll get the word desire. All right, and it says a long or hope for, right? To exhibit or feel desire for. It says to express a wish for, have a request. So we have a wish for the for the kingdom. We request in the kingdom. We're requesting the kingdom. Right? It says to express a wish, to ask. But we have to show that we truly want it. Right? You know what a man is about. So most times you can tell what a man's aim is based on what he indulges in. Right? It says conscious impulse towards something that promises enjoyment or satisfaction in its attainment. And for us, that is the kingdom. All right? But once again, it says that desire without action, will basically crumble. So let's look on the word action. All right, so this is the word action. It says a thing done. Right, deed. We still look on the word deed. It says the accomplishment of a thing, usually over a period of time, in stages, or with the possibility of repetition. Yes, every year on year, we say, look, we're getting closer. Well, if kingdom doesn't come this year, then it's going to come next year. And that's our hope. The apostles and has been out there, 30 plus years. Right? You have various brothers, year after year after year, always going out, always doing the lessons. Some of it, we do labor in this truth so much. You have lessons being, it sounds repetitive, but each time it's repeated, we learn more and we grow more. As Apostle Gabar always like to say, repetition is the father of skill, and that is true. Because the more we repeat it, the more it sinks in. Even in the law, it's said many times that we should rehearse, the laws in the ears of our children, so that what they will not forget it. You see the law on the doorpost. You had the what's that thing that they had in the is it the phylactery, if I'm remembering correctly, that goes between the eyes, right? And we also, always in our people are always, every Sabbath went in the synagogues to read over and over again, and it was the same history, it was the same prophecies. With us, the more we do these lessons, the more we gain more knowledge on what we already thought we knew. The knowledge just keeps on increasing, and not only that, it helps those that even if the video that you're doing now on one particular topic that you did before, not maybe the person that's going to watch this video is a part of the elect and they didn't see the previous video. And once again, it's something that is repetitive, so you're being built up, just like with the gym. Anything that you do repeatedly, you get stronger in it. So it says the accomplishment of a thing, usually over a period of time, in stages. So the stage that we're in right now is for us to teach. That is the labor that we're required to do. We're required to go out on the highways and hedges. We're required to do our sit downs. We're required to conduct ourselves in a particular manner. As you can see here, actions, behavior, conduct. you know, where we're supposed to be, fasting, we're supposed to be praying, supposed to be reading, you know, supposed to be walking in the Spirit to the best of our ability. But to the most basic of the definition, it says a thing done. So we have to do things in order to obtain desires, the stages and the steps, right? It says something that is done. It says usually, hold on, where's the one that I wanted? It says something that is done. There was something here that I wanted from the word deed. Well, I guess I missed it. But the point is made right there, right? It is you do something to gain an end result. Pretty much that's what the whole thing is about. Right down here at number 10, it does say that. It says the most vigorous, productive, or exciting activity in a particular field, area, or group. So it's something your action should bring forth. The product of your actions should be your desire. But if you have the desire, right, it makes no sense. If you're hungry and you decide that you want food, you can want that food all you want, or you can think about or desire the food all you want. But if you don't go through the process of cooking it, how will you eat? How will you actually get it? Every desire requires action in order for it to be obtained. And it's no different with the kingdom of heaven. All right, so let me just get a quick precept, then I'll close out. Whoa. That says on right there. Not to worry, I have two. All right, so this is James 2. Verse 17, it says, even so faith, if it had not works, is dead, being alone. Yea, a man may say, thou hast faith, and I have works. Shew me thy faith without thy works, and I will shew thee my faith by my works. All right, so that's key. Right, it says, thou believest that there is one God, thou doest well. The devils also believe and tremble. So just knowing that the kingdom of heaven is at hand, just knowing that the Most High exists, and just knowing about Yahweh Hashem Yahushua is not enough. Because, even the devils know that. Right, verse 20, but wilt thou know, O vain man, that faith without works is dead? Was not Abraham our father justified by works, when he had offered Isaac his son upon the altar? Seest thou how faith wrought with his works, and by works was faith? Seest how faith wrought with his works, and by works was his faith made perfect? And that's the thing. The faith is made perfect through the works. The desire is made perfect through the actions, right? The scripture was fulfilled which said, Abraham believed, and it was imputed unto him for righteousness, and he was called a friend of God. Ye see then how that by works a man is justified, and not by faith only. Right? So we need to have, our actions, our works should be towards the service of our faith, i.e. our desires. So anything that you're spending your time and energy on, that's where your true desire lies. So if you're not laboring in this ministry, it shows that your desire is not the kingdom of heaven. However, if you're laboring in this ministry, then it shows that you're you desire the kingdom of heaven. And once again, when I say labor, I don't mean just doing lessons and just doing going on the highways and byways. There are many aspects, self-examination and brotherly love and those other factors, fasting, praying, reading, building that personal relationship with Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All of that includes the labor or the works of obtaining the kingdom. It says, likewise also was not Rahab the harlot justified by works when she had received the messengers and had sent them out another way? For as the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without works is also dead. And that's a good analogy, So, faith and works is like the body and the spirit. Through that there's life. Let me also try something real quickly because I think I wanted to check the definition. Right. Let me just take a quick look on faith and works, and then I'll close out. Faith, let me play the Greek.
Strong's G 4102, pistis. Pistis.
All right, it says conviction of the truth of anything, belief in the New Testament of a conviction or belief respecting man's relationship to the Most High and divine things, generally with the included idea of trust and holy favor born of faith and joined with it. So it says a beliefs, right? Belief with the predominant idea of trust or confidence, whether in the Most High or in the Messiah, springing from faith in the same. All right, so pretty much it goes into belief, right? And let's look on the word works. Ergon, right? It says business, employment, that which anyone is occupied, that which one undertakes to do, enterprise, undertaking. So whatever we are employed, whatever we're occupied in, whatever we're undertaking in these times, that whatever we undertake the most, or what we put our energy towards the most, is what will determine what our desires are, whether it's in this world or in the kingdom to come. Right? It says any product whatever, anything accomplished by hand, art, industry, or mind, an act, deed, thing done. The idea of working is emphasized in opposition or opposite to that which is less than work. All right, as you go down here, it says deed, doing, labor, work. So we're actually trying to labor to enter into the kingdom. Right down here it says, thus of the work of salvation committed by God to the Messiah. It says of the work to be done by the apostles and other Christian teachers, as well as by the presiding officers of the religious assemblies. Right. See if there's anything else left. It says which means either to the work in which the ministry consists, the work performed in undertaking the ministry, or to the execution of the ministry, of that which one undertakes to do. Right. Let me see if there's anything here in regards to it makes any reference towards salvation. It says of sundry signal acts of the Messiah to arouse men to believe in him and to accomplish their salvation. Right. So definitely, I knew that some part of it would actually lead back to obtaining salvation. Right. It says that is applied to the conduct of men measured by the standard of religion and righteousness, whether bad or good. Exactly. So if it's a case that we're measuring up, if we're putting in the amount of work that's desired to get something, Apostle Ramlad, said today that we should think about our spiritual deposits. Every man's price is different in a sense, because every man have a different measure of faith. So different men will produce different results, like in the parable. But if your ticket, cost $10, and you're putting in enough work that will only generate, $6 or $7 or $8, you know, it's not enough. So as much as it be in you, and if we truly desire to be saved, then we need to be putting in as much work as is possible. All within balance, of course. You know, according to your lot, according to your measure, produce as best as we can. That's all that we can do, and that's all that we should be doing. All right. Let me see if there's anything else here. It says James 1:4. What does that say? That says, "But let patience have her perfect work, that ye may be perfect and entire, wanting nothing." Right? It says the genitive of person, subjunctive, his whole way of feeling and acting, his aims and his endeavors. All right. The works required and approved by the Most High. Right? This is for Titus 3. Right? It says, "Not by the works of righteousness which we have done, but according to his mercy he had saved us by washing of regeneration and the renewing of the Holy Spirit." So there's works that are required and approved of the Most High that we need to do in order to obtain salvation. Right? It says, "Wrought by faith, the course of conduct which springs from faith." Right, so our faith or our desires should spring up, a particular course of conduct, which would lead us onto the kingdom. Hey, you notice that you have the word course right there, which is pretty much like a journey or something to go through. It says, "Works devoid of that life which has its source in the Most High, works, so to speak, unwrought, which at the last judgment will fail of the approval of God and of all reward." I guess, and this is in a bad sense, and there the reference to this particular meaning. But all in all, it shows that there's an end reward or an end product at the end of the day. As it says, if you sow to the Spirit, you shall reap to the Spirit. What you sow is what you reap. Right? All right, down here it says, "Works demanded by and agreeing with the law." All right. Yeah, so pretty much that is it. Was just going through these definitions. Hopefully this was edifying. Once more, I give all praises, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakah Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Shalom to the brothers in the highways and byways pushing this word now, sincerity and truth. The sisters, the believers, the helps, the hopeful elect. Shalom.